October 21, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2002 chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. Go ahead and turn off my lines. It was essentially just a very, very choppy day. It was hard to find setups, and I did manage to take one trade, which is right here, and unfortunately it failed. And overall, I think the total price action, you can see from the highs and the lows, the extreme highs and lows, was only about 30 points. But then most of the time, it was just meandering within a much tighter range. There was some super, overlapping trading ranges and channels, but nothing really jumped out. I didn't really identify too many trades, and there were some setups that I thought were almost trades. So I'll get into the trades right now. Volume was kind of low, just kind of a slow, meandering day. So there was a sell-off, break, test the low, and if you look at this, this is a very choppy break. Chop, and it just kind of, it's moving sideways. Things are just trying to figure itself out. Then it pushed up, which was potentially something tighter with a breakout. But with this breakout, I would have drawn it in real time to include it because it looked like it dwelled for quite a while. Pushes down, and then on the open, it breaks out. So it's technically a first entry short pullback. You have a second entry short here, but it's an inside bar. And also this is only about seven seconds into the trading day. So I'm reluctant to just jump on this, especially on a what I consider a mediocre setup. So first entry long pullback, second entry long failure. Same thing, you got this doji, you got a neutral bar in between. So no real trades here. Looked like it was one leg up, pullback, another push up. Now you could say there's a new low here, say first entry short, pullback, second entry short's created on this doji, which is the signal bar. But again, it's not really a clean setup. Pushes down, EMA isn't really helpful at this point in time. Break of the green down channel makes two legs down. You really only have first entries at this point. It's a new low, say another first entry short. Technically you have a second entry short that's hidden right here, but it's just too close to the low of day, which is right here. So again, there's no real trade there. Price is pushed down. EMA looks like it's starting to act as a bearish resistance. I drew this bigger red channel because it had good contact, one touch, two touch, three touch, but barely any good touches up here. So I didn't really color it in, didn't trust it too much. It's a localized low. First entry short, pullback. You technically have a second entry short. It's not a good setup. Above the EMA, bad signal bar. Looking for a lower high. You kind of get a lower high here, but this lower high is actually inside bar to this one. You also have a new high here. First entry long, pullback, second entry long. Now the second entry long, in any other context, if it was lower, then you might have a trade, but it already, I like that it pressed or ticked below and engulfed this bar completely. But the problem is it's already pushed up and stopped right at where this resistance is because it had trouble two times here and the third time here. So this is a no trade here. It's also, you could say is a higher low, but it really isn't bouncing off of anything. I drew this yellow up channel after the close of this candle, and it was actually a little tighter. I treated it as a failed breakout initially. But this failed breakout didn't break out to the other side, so I ended up including it in the price action. So then you actually do have a failed breakout up here. It's a new localized new high. Also, looks like it's in this gray trading range. I'm gonna go zoom in to see what it looks like and what I thought about it in real time. So it's localized high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long failure. So this I actually thought was a possible trade because it is two legs down, one leg down, pullback, second leg down after the break of this yellow up channel and this overshoot. It does have an EMA rejection, and it looks like it might also be, despite it being two legs, one here, the measured move has already been exceeded. And so I thought there's a possibility that prices are still in this orange down channel. So it would have been good enough for a 1-point scalp. Prices move down. Kind of hits a sideways consolidation. You really don't have a second entry, but you look like you might be playing range rules. Potential failed breakout on this side. Corresponding failed breakout on this side. So I'm expecting a move back in. However, the orange down channel has already tested the low. So I'm thinking prices might move back in, but I wouldn't be surprised if it kept going up because there's no reason, no motivation to come and test the low of this orange down channel now. since it already did it right here. Starts pressing up. Now I'm actually looking for prices to get to the high side of this trading range. You don't have a first entry short till about right here. So you have a new low. Technically, you have a first entry short. You have a visual first entry, second entry, but a very clean technical first entry short. Two dojis in a row, pushes down, reverses up. I was hoping there was going to be a break below this guy to create a second entry short, and it looked like it'd be two legs, one leg down, pull back into the second leg, but it did. Kind of pushes up, hits this top of the range, so I'm expecting this resistance to potentially hold. Pushes up, and it keeps going. It starts moving up what looks like a second leg, this orange second leg. No clean second entries right now. You have a first entry long. Maybe a second entry long might set up here, but I don't like that it's a doji hammer. You do have a second entry long, so definitely not an area to enter. Kind of chop sideways. It just looks side by side, too congested. Looks like it's in its trading range, and then it breaks out. Breaks out of this orange down channel. I'm expecting maybe two legs up. You technically have a new high, first entry long, pullback. You have a second entry long here, but it's an inside bar. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But then it creates what I think is actually a lower high. So this is where I take my one and only trade, and it ends up being a failed or a loss. And then I looked at it in hindsight, and I realized this wasn't really a clean entry. I shouldn't have taken it. So I'll go through what I'm thinking of. It's localized new high, high of day. It's creating a first entry long, pullback, and this is inside bar. There's a second entry long here, pullback, and it looks like potentially if you're looking first entry, second entry, this second entry long has failed. And I thought, okay, there's a lower high here. Keep in mind, I don't have this trading range established yet, so there's no lines here. And I also thought it's a decent signal bar. There's enough room to push down for potentially 2-point scalp. It's a little aggressive though, but I was thinking this orange down channel wants to test the low, though it broke down on the low side. I enter right at the lows. My stop is above this candle. It starts stalling. It gets close, so it looks like it might start moving its way down because I'm thinking EMA might be in play. Break of the screen up channel has tested once, tested twice. Looks like it. Maybe it's going to come back down. Pushes up. Keep in mind my stop's up here. I'm still surviving, and then finally it stops me out. Now I will admit during this trade playing out, I was thinking maybe I should just get out break even. So my only chance to get out break even would have been on this candle, and I wasn't ready to do that. But when I saw this candle, then this one, I was thinking if it comes back, I'm going to get out break even. But I waited and then it stopped me out. The prices never came back down to me. So now I look at this in hindsight, and I actually thought this actually isn't clear what's going on. I have noticed that when price action, for example, this bearish down channel, when it breaks to the low side instead of breaking to the high side, if it breaks to the low side, there's a lower probability of prices coming back down and testing the extreme of this orange down channel because it already kind of broke the low side. It fell through this leg. So asking it to come back down and test it, it could happen, but it's less likely. But if this was reversed, something more like it broke on this side of this down channel, like broke, then there's a higher chance it's going to test the low because the break is actually on the high side of this bearish down channel. It's the same thing on this bullish up channel. If it breaks to this low side, then I'm like on this side where my cursor is, I'm thinking there's a higher probability it's going to test the high. This break, test the high. However, on the flip side, for example, like this one, let's say this yellow up channel is in play. When it breaks on the high side, there's a less likelihood of it coming back and coming up and testing the high because technically the break has made a new high. So it's just something I noticed, something I put in my notes. I have to be very extra careful when I see these type of breaks and thinking it might come back down to the low. It is something to notice, but it would be riskier in the future to use this as a justification as a key entry point or reason of why prices I should expect it to come back down. So it's kind of a hard lesson learned. I've noticed that in other charts, and I'm slowly kind of building an idea of how prices probably are reacting a little bit better than I had before. Okay, so anyways, prices starts moving this sideways price action. It looked like it was two legs up, so it's one leg down, two legs up, noisy. Pushes down. You only have a first entry long here. Technically, you have a new low, first entry short. Pushes up. You technically have a second entry short, two measured legs up. It is a second entry short, but this is technically inside of this, and the follow through wasn't very convincing. So for me to feel safe taking a short, I need something a better, more decisive setup. Kind of chops around, moves down, and it creates the second entry long. So it's a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. Now keep in mind, this big leg can actually be separated in two small legs. One leg up, pullback, second leg up. But if you're playing this big orange leg up, looks like there's a break. It's unclear if this is the break that occurred, but it looks like it was one leg up, pullback. This could be the second leg. EMA isn't super reliable yet. This is technically inside to this, but the follow through trigger bar looks pretty good. So if I wanted to take a trade, I would have probably entered after the close of this bar, and I would have entered one tick above here. So it looks like I potentially would have gotten filled, pushes up, and I would have gotten my quick 2-point scalp. Prices then continue moving. It starts getting a little choppy again. So it's a new high, first entry long, pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but looks like a visual first entry, pullback. This happens so quickly, and this isn't a good signal bar. So there's no trade here, no trade to even feel FOMO about because you don't know that this is going to happen. Starts pushing, consolidating. I thought I might be in a trading range of a fail breakout here. Localized low, first entry short, second entry short. Technically, you have a third entry short, but you do have a lower high here. At this point, I do draw this as a trend line support. I turned it into a channel, but I didn't color it in because it's not the most clean, not the most reliable at this point. I was also playing with the idea that maybe there's a channel, something like this, but it also didn't look like it fit very well. It kind of barely touched the bottom side. So I went ahead and deleted that. So as I'm watching this right now, it pushes up. You only have first entries right now. First entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long failure, but this, the size of these candles, relatively speaking to how the rest of the price action has been moving, seem very large. So I just decided to sit that one out, and I didn't really like the setup. Pushes break of this green down channel, test the low. It reminds me of earlier in the day, in the pre-market, when there was this big chop, big push down, and it got choppy on the break. So it looked like it's happening here. I'm not really sure it's going to push back up, so I'm just kind of sitting and waiting. Moves down this red down channel, break to the low side. It looked like it was fitting pretty well. Then I actually dragged it to here to try to keep the breakout from happening, but it looked a little odd because there's a lot of empty space here. And initially, it actually just looked better here and to treat this as a failed breakout. Pushes to the low side. So again, this is what I was talking about. When I see a break on the low side of this bearish down channel, when I see this break, I'm more inclined to think this is already the price action testing the lows. So it's less probable, not that it couldn't, that it's going to come back down and test the low of this pink down channel. But if you drew it like this, and I suppose there is no break, and then you could make the claim that it's going to come back down and touch the lows. But if I had this channel drawn, I'm reluctant to even believe that right now because it's not a clean fitting channel. So it's a first entry short, break of the green up channel, test the high, creates a second entry short, no way to enter this, creates a potential lower high here, flushes down. So you do have a confirmed lower high, but now the trade, it looks like it's moved without you. Pushes down, break of this orange down channel, technically first entry long pullback, second entry long failure. Also break of this orange down channel is tested the low. If I saw a lower high, I'd be reluctant to take it because it appears that there might be some kind of support zone being seen here. Hits this bottom, bounces up, almost looks like it's two legs up, one leg up, pull back, second leg. It's also one big leg, pull back, two attempts. It's debatable whether it's going to create another leg up like this on this to be printed leg or printed candles. Kind of gets choppy, big knee-jerk pushes. So I'm just sitting this out now. I drew this purple up channel because it looks like it's fitting pretty well. Unfortunately, nothing sets up. Creates this measured leg now, respects it. First entry long pullback. I'm looking for a second entry long bounce off this purple up channel. Breaks through, so now it's not holding. You technically have a second entry long here. It's a first entry long, second entry long, but it's below the EMA. It broke outside this purple. I'm expecting prices to move back in and test the high, but I don't like this. I need a higher low to feel comfortable going long. You technically get a higher low here. So you don't know it's going to be a higher low here. It creates forms, create your higher low. It's a It's not doji, it's a red candle, so I wouldn't have been ready to take this trade, and I don't like the setup. Pushes up and out, respects the measured move high. Technically a first entry short, second entry short. If I was thinking of going short, I want a lower high now. Pushes up. You kind of get a lower high here, potential triple test here. But this lower high, I'm not sure the EMA is in play or not now. So it's this purple up channel technically has broken and tested the high. This orange up channel has broken, tested once, tested twice. Uptrend or uptrend attempt on this orange up channel has played out. Purple up channel is technically played out. You have a triple test. So actually, I take it back. In hindsight, or in real time, I didn't think about it, but in hindsight, this is actually, I think, a possible trade. I definitely needed to have more time to think about it. So in real time, I would not have been ready, as you can see. And I thought it was an almost trade, but I think this is actually a reasonable trade right here. Even though the EMA looks like a support, but it failed to act as support here. Maybe a support here, but maybe there's a possible trade here now. So you would have entered here. My stop would have been above this candle, pushes down, and one of these guys would have given me the quick 2-point scalp. Prices chop around. Looks like it's in a trading range. It has a fail breakout here, but I noticed there's an imbalance. There's no price action up here. So it looked like it made it up the high side, but now it's down to the low side. And each subsequent attempt is a lower high. But this support might be holding. So this could be a fail breakout, but I'm thinking more likely fail breakout, pullback, and continuation down. But I also had this drawn as a potential gray down channel. You technically have a first entry short, and now it looks like it is a failed breakout moving all the way in. So I'm expecting maybe a test of this high of this range. Comes back down, it fails to hit the high side. Break of this pink one has tested the high. So now it looks like it's just chopping sideways. I'm curious to know if this is going to hold. Technically, you have a first entry long, pullback. You have a second entry long here, but this is in the area right here. This is trying to take a long trade here. It feels a little dicey. It's kind of in an area of ambiguity. There is a support. Prices did try to get into this trading range and test the highs, but now it looks like it's struggling. Pushes down. Dojis, I'm not a big fan of this. Plus timestamps telling me it's too late in the day. Technically a new low, first entry short. Technically a second entry short failure. Also looks like it might be just 2 legs up, not necessarily a measured move. But 2 legs up, the measured move would kind of pop out to the other side, creating a failed breakout corresponding to this one. It almost makes it, and then it kind of reverses down. So it could be considered the measured move has been made, but there's no clean second entries. Also, it's too late in the day to try to take a trade. Pushes down, kind of has this weird sell-off and pushes into the close. Currently, the market is still open. It's about to close in the after hours. But there's nothing worth taking, especially in the last 30 minutes. Price action slows down quite a bit. And overall, it looked like it was just a really choppy, slow day. Although prices stayed or spanned pretty much a 30-point range, 67.89 down to 67.59, 30 points. Most of the price action was just kind of meandering. It wasn't the easiest, most obvious day to trade. So I'm kind of bummed I took a loss, but it's kind of goes with the territory. Hopefully things pick up tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Hopefully trading gets easier. Or at least I think for me it gets easier. I hope. But otherwise, hopefully that was helpful.